Okay, so with this being announced, with Ghosty now being a restricted free agent for the 2026 Black Ops 7 season, this pretty much confirms to me that Cellium is going to LA Thieves because there's no other realm of possibility in my mind that this would even be announced if not for that happening. And I kind of feel like LA Thieves is taking the approach of more firepower. Maybe we just need more firepower to overcompensate for our lack of do. But so let's get into this. So it's like they pick up a better player in MC. Like MC is clearly a way better main AR. But the work that Ghosty was doing in the hill, he did a lot of OBJ work. You're basically asking MC to do it. Not saying MC's not capable of it, but MC didn't have to do it as much on Atlanta FaZe. But I think that might be good for MC, and I don't think he would regress back to old habits in a team like LA Thieves with Scrap, Hydra, and Envoy around him because and like the coaching staff that they have over there. I think especially since these were the exact same players for 2 years in a row screaming across the stage, MC or even playing for the win. I don't think he would regress back to it knowing what they think of him, and especially since now that he got dropped from Atlanta FaZe, or not dropped, but his contract ran out and they're not going to bring him back. I think that was kind of a wake-up call to MC that, okay, I kind of really need to change how I play, and I feel like in this team they're going to not only gain more slang power with MC, but I mean, there's so many downsides, there's so many upsides because now like the comms for LA Thieves, you know? And if they do get MC, this pretty much confirms because like to me, this means that they're getting MC like 100%. It means that they're getting MC because they won't even allow Ghosty to look for options if otherwise not being said. And if they are getting MC, you want what this confirms to me? They're keeping Envoy because you can't get rid of Envoy and Ghosty because they're pretty much goes all your good comms because regardless of what you want to say about Hydra and his skill, not as good in the comms department. He has a lot of moments where he's just not talking or a lot of moments where you're just calling out one shot, one shot, one shot. And Ghosty was a person that would like baby him in the comms all the time. And Ghosty was so good at that. Ghosty was like another version of Skies when it came to comms with Hydra and sometimes communicating for Hydra, like when Hydra was doing other things, like that stuff that Ghosty was doing. And if you pick up MC, you're now losing all of that, which means now Scrap, Envoy, and even Hydra are gonna have to step up in the comms because I don't see MC just miraculously now being great at the comms. I feel like their comms are now gonna get freaking crazy now. Like with MC, it's like he is ruining those comms, but now it requires Scrap and Hydra and Envoy to step up more. And now with MC coming in the team, I feel like we also need to see a different version of Hydra because we know Hydra's the ultimate green light player, the number one green light player in the whole entire league, in my opinion. Now he's going to have to take a little bit more responsibility. He can't just go roaming all the time because now when you get a player of this caliber like Cellium, you now have to compensate a bit. You can't keep playing the same way you're playing. You kind of have to regress sometimes like a little bit, like when players like this come into a team. Same way with AG in Optic and MW3 when he came in, Shotzi kind of had to adapt to that as well. It took him pretty much the whole year to adapt to that because when another superstar comes in, you have to acquire everyone's needs. You can't just bring in a superstar. You don't bring in a superstar player to just make them play like Kismet in MW3, like, you know, or you know, like just any example like that. But this pretty much confirms to me that Cellium's going to LA Thieves. I don't even think, like, for my opinion, I don't even think, like, it's a positive move. Like, I would have been much more content with LA Thieves keeping the exact same team, but maybe they just felt like with MC, you get a lot more consistent performances, which is something you need when Scrap and Hydra aren't going to be frying every game. Like, they're going to be frying a lot of games. Like, majority of the games are going to be frying. But in games where they're not, it's nice to have another person that you know is also going to give you, like, a guaranteed 1.0. Whether or not it's a useful 1.0 is another conversation entirely. But, I mean, it's just so confusing. It's so confusing. I don't really like the change because it doesn't help their comms. I think Ghosty obviously is fucking faster. He does a lot of hill work that's required when playing in a team like this with Scrap and Hydra. Like, you need people that are versatile. Ghosty's a very versatile player. But on the positive side for Ghosty, this is going to raise his stock because now he's probably going to get into a team where he could go back to playing a more natural role. Like, his best role is being like a flex and being faster, being able to get a lot of kills on the map. That's what got him onto LA Thieves in the first place, is being on a role like that. So I feel like from a Ghosty perspective, good, but also bad because you're not going to be on this top tier S tier team. But you can get back to it if you use this next year to prove your worth again and show you can be a superstar player. And not only that, but also the things that people deem as negative, like when things aren't going bad and how you act like that. If you could now improve on that as well, also become a superstar player. Like, even the next year after BO7 or even the middle of BO7, maybe some teams are looking to upgrade. And I mean, if you're under contract, probably not. But even after this year. So if I'm Ghosty, the next thing I'm getting on, I'm signing a 1 year, not a 1+1. Sign a 1 year, have a great year. Next thing you know, you could be getting picked up on Optic or something. Anything could happen. You could be right back on Optic. This league is desperate for good superstar ARs who know how to calm, are mature. The league is crying out for those types of ARs who also play fast as well. Ghosty pretty much has all those traits. He just has those small little negatives that probably even got him off this team, to be honest, because like how he was acting at the last like 2 events, they probably didn't like that. They're probably just thinking we could just get MC, who's pretty much non-problematic. His only issues are on the map, really. But definitely going to have to work with Shane, work with Sender to get those comms good and figure out the dynamic in that scenario. But as for Ghosty, I mean, Ghosty pretty much walks into pretty much every other team. Like, when I was thinking about Ghosty on Atlanta FaZe, I was thinking if he did go on to Atlanta FaZe, that'd pretty much mean that they would probably keep a BZ. And I think Ghosty would improve their hard point, improve their comms. But I was thinking if they get Ghosty, they might as well keep Draza. Because I think Draza, Ghosty, Simp, a BZ would be perfect pace-wise. Their S&D would be good, and their comms would be good. Because now you're eliminating MC's comms, bringing in Ghosty's comms, which are a lot more clear, a lot more concise. You're bringing in Draza. You're bringing back Draza, who also has good comms as well. And then, like, you're keeping Simp on a sub, which is good, but Simp could also be a flex. Like, to be honest, he really could. But you're keeping him on a sub. You're keeping a BZ. You now have another AR who could also do OBJ work. So you basically have 2 ARs who are keen to not only play slow, but to also play fast. It could also do dirty work if need be and aren't afraid of dying. Having 2 ARs to play at that pace that aren't afraid of dying is a real positive when it comes to a BZ and Simp. But I really don't want a BZ and Simp playing together. But I think Simp draws a Ghosty finding one, like a Kleenex, would be probably like the perfect roster for Atlanta FaZe, if I was being honest. That would be the perfect roster when it comes to Simp. Having Draza and Ghosty, great comms, exactly like I said, all those things, and now getting an SMG who could enable you a lot more. That's a team for Simp right there. That is a perfect team for Simp. Like, this is the perfect domino. LA Thieves picking up Cellium is probably the best thing that happened to Atlanta FaZe, but I don't think Atlanta FaZe is even going to do what I said. But even if you got Ghosty, Draza, Neptune's Simp, like, I feel like Neptune's very capable, even though he is like a route taker like a Hydra. I think he is capable of playing more direct if he has to. He's also very good at S&D. I feel like the dynamic with him and Simp could actually be very good. But I would still think Kleenex would be the number one option. I always thought this. Joe Deceives, you would have to pay a buyout for. Depends how much Atlanta FaZe has to give away. Like, a team of Simp, Joe, Ghosty, Draza, hand them all the championships. Like, they pretty much win. Like, that would be perfect. But I think LA Thieves dropping Ghosty, making him a stricter free agent, I definitely think is something Atlanta FaZe should look at. I'm not even kidding. They should definitely look at this. This is a really good thing. And I would keep Draza because there's not many players like Draza around at all. Like, when I look at the AR list of Cellium, Abuza, Draza, Nasty, Kenny, Geo, Awakening, Skies, Lunars, Priesta, then it pretty much goes downhill from there. I don't think Atlanta FaZe will look at any other ARs, like not even like a Mamba. I don't think they'd look at. So if you look at those, like they wouldn't get Kenny, they wouldn't get Geo, they wouldn't get Awakening, no Skies, no Lunars, no Priesta. Nasty's debatable, but they would probably think the slang there. But I think like the pace wise and just how he plays would be very good. So maybe if they don't get Draza, get Nasty, but you could easily just call Draza back. He's better than Nasty in pretty much every department. I think a Ghosty and Draza AR duo on Atlanta FaZe would be perfect. That would be perfect for Simp. Like absolutely perfect. That's like exactly what he needs. I think Cellium's another piece holding holding Christopher back, and like all four of the players would be capable of pop-up potential. I don't really like the 04 Simp dynamic. I really don't like that. I think I was playing around with the idea of Kismet before, but I don't really like that either. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like Kismet on like a team like Falcons with AG, like that would just be like perfect for him. But Nero, TJ, like no, like not Johnny either. It would have to be fucking Neptune, Joe, or Kleenex. I feel like those are the only options for Simp. When it comes to him staying on an SMG, otherwise he might as well just go to a flex and you pick up like a Neptune and somebody else, insert name here. But I think a team of Simp and then Joe, Kleenex, or Neptune, and then Draza and Ghosty, that'd be perfect. Because you bring Draza right back, he's a restricted free agent, bring him right back, and you get Ghosty. The buyout will not be that crazy on a player like Ghosty. Perfect type of player that you need if you're Atlanta FaZe, but obviously you have to smarten him up on the things that he's negative on. But I think that'd be perfect for Ghosty. I think this actually could be like the best move for Ghosty possible if he does end up on Atlanta FaZe. If he ends up on another team, I mean, I'm hoping you're just like the fast flex that like you used to be in like MW3 and even in MW2 before you joined Optic as well. I think Ghosty would be a great piece for a lot of these teams. You could walk into Cloud9. Cloud9's not going to have like Dante anymore, so they'll probably have like a slow AR. You know, he would be great in there. Heretic's probably not getting on because all Spanish team. He could pretty much walk into any team that is an Optic or LA Thieves because obviously they're dropping him. Ultra might be settled maybe or not settled, but yeah, he could pretty much walk into any other team, honestly, as an AR. And he'd be playing with a main AR that actually allows him to play a lot quicker and could be a flex. So either way, I think this is great for just Ghost's career overall because playing with the players that he was playing on LA Thieves, your ceiling can only be so high. Obviously, if you're winning everything, then your ceiling still remains incredibly high, but clearly that just could not happen in this team. Like, just the dynamic of playing with Hydra and Scrap, I mean, isn't for everyone. Not everyone's capable of it. So I think that's what LA Thieves is also thinking, because Hydra, year after year, like I feel like he performs, and then in times his teammates underperform. So he probably just feels like he needs people around him. That's why he got Scrap in the first place. Like he needed a solid AR who could always perform. He got Scrap. Scrap was MVP. I feel like he's trying to round out the AR dynamic with just like ARs that he knows can consistently put up numbers, and that way he doesn't have to like tweak about that anymore. And then Envoy is obviously just a great piece, like comms wise, maturity wise, makes a lot of plays in S&D. A great bait and switch player, very versatile player, so they're definitely going to keep Envoy no matter how inconsistent he is. I mean, I don't think bringing a BZ even like helps, because I don't think I feel like a BZ in LA Thieves would switch his play style like a little bit, just knowing the players he's playing around, but why couldn't he do on Atlanta FaZe? So I feel like they just keep Envoy, to be honest. I think they still have a lot of faith in Envoy, but this pretty much confirms Dan Ghosty to, this pretty much confirms Cellium to LA Thieves. Like, this is as obvious gets. We're not going to hear any announcements anytime soon, but it's pretty much confirmed they're snatching him. They're snatching him for sure. And then I think, since he's a restricted free agent, like, is he a restricted free agent? I think Cellium's a restricted free. I think he just put FA, but I think he's a restricted free agent. But I'm pretty, like, I think if he is a restricted free agent, oh no, he actually is just out of contract. He's unrestricted. Because I was about to say if they get money for him, they could use that towards Ghosty. But yeah, no, he's just like walking for free. So that's cool, I guess. But if a team, this is something for Atlanta FaZe, this is something I would do. If a team buys out a BZ, which most likely is going to happen, I would hope so, because, dude, Unless you're getting Draza and Ghosty, I would vastly consider getting rid of a BZ. Honestly, like I would try a different dynamic if I were like Atlanta FaZe. Instead of going back to the exact same thing, I would try a different dynamic. It is time to try something different. I would use the money from a BZ to get Ghosty and get somebody else, and you're pretty much keeping your pockets pretty much the exact same way that you left them, because you're probably going to get a lot of money for a BZ, and he could equal like a Clean X and a Ghosty for sure. So that's definitely something I'd consider if I was Atlanta FaZe. Like I said, that Atlanta FaZe roster with Ghosty and Draza, I feel that's a great AR duo. Up there with like the pace of Merc and Dashy. Both players could pop off, both mature, both great in the comms. So many positives, and they both could play well around Chris as well. I know they can, so definitely something to consider. But I mean, this roster is going to continue. I'm going to keep doing small videos like this if these rosters keep going. So if you like them, keep liking. I'll keep making them. But this has been Burrito. Bada boom, bada bye. We'll see you next time. Follow me on Twitter, by the way. Lots of good tweets on there.